just not feeling this workout today, Yam Squad. I think I'm gonna need some pre-workout to get me through my time with Babe today. Yes, let's go! Pre-workout. Hello YouTubers and welcome to another episode. Just having a little bit of fun, but as you can tell, today we're talking about pre-workout, the benefits, why you might use it, why I use it, and why you might not use it. But before we get into that, I'm just going to get a little bit of a steady state workout on Bay this afternoon to get my steady state workout in for the day. So I'll see you after this short time lapse. Oh yeah! And we have finished the walk in this park, the stroll outside, inside, on Bay for this afternoon. 90 minutes, probably one of the easiest 90 minutes I've had in quite a while. Do you know those ergs where you're really struggling to hit all of those splits and you're thinking, oh my goodness, I need some help from somewhere? Well, for me, tonight wasn't one of them. And it's days like this where appreciating that is a really big thing. Sometimes ergs, sometimes workouts can be a struggle, and sometimes, fingers crossed, you can have those workouts when they just go well. So the split wasn't anything special, but the heart rate stayed relatively low. 120, let's see, down here, 124. And so just a nice, steady, like I said, stroll in just the bottom end of my sort of zone 2, UT2 zone. But anyway, that's not what you're here to talk about. We're talking about pre-workouts. So obviously having a little bit of fun at the start of the video, just with one of the biggest things I hear about pre-workout is, oh, I take pre-workout because, like, usually I don't want to go to the gym, but then I take pre-workout and I want to go to the gym. And so let's rewind a little bit. What is pre-workout? Well, it's basically a mix of different sugars and vitamins that give you energy in some way. Some are really simple sugars, really simple carbs that just give you sort of a sugar high. Some involve other supplements like creatine, beta-alanine, caffeine, taurine, and there's definitely other ones that some people should definitely stay away from. So if you're looking at pre-workout, definitely look at the ingredients, see what's in them, and see what you're looking for. Basically, there are some that are just a no-go. Some used to give people heart attacks and whatnot. So before we get into sort of pre-workouts, what they're for, what you can use them for, what you don't want to use them for, I really recommend speaking to your nutritionist, your coach, a doctor, or whoever it is before you want to use any pre-workout at all, rather than just jumping in and saying, well, I've seen people use pre-workout, I want to use pre-workout. So for me, I use pre-workout to help just give that little bit of an edge on a workout. And so what do I mean by that? Well, yes, of course, you're going to have those workouts where you're not feeling like you want to smash it. But I'm not saying use pre-workout to sort of wake yourself up or use pre-workout to sort of say, like, make yourself do something. It's more taking the motivation that you have and pushing it that little bit higher. Basically, what I see pre-workout is as a booster, if you will. So if you're feeling motivated, it gets that little bit more motivation out of you. And so for certain different pre-workouts, like the one I have from Amsport, is not too much caffeine. I think it's about 90 milligrams per serving, which isn't too much. Some have hundreds of milligrams. There is some beta-alanine and some creatine. If you've not done any research on what beta-alanine and creatine does, I definitely recommend researching that, speaking to a coach, speaking to a doctor, speaking to a nutritionist before you take supplements like those. But those two are very research supplements in sort of sport. Creatine, basically, very, very simply, is supposed to allow you to get that last rep, not so much in endurance. Beta-alanine is supposed to help lactate buffering. But again, doing research by yourself to see if that will work for you instead of, say, improving your diet. But why would you take pre-workout? Like I said, it sort of takes your motivation, takes that want to go hit the gym and just pushes it a little bit further. And for depending on the pre-workout itself, well, that can depend on sort of that boost it gives you. So if it has beta-alanine in it, that generally means that you'll end up with the sort of tingly feeling that happens when you end up taking just over the amount of beta-alanine that your body can handle. And then if it has creatine in it, so that should, in theory, let you do a bit more reps, but just taking sort of one drink of pre-workout won't boost your creatine levels in your body really, so not too much of a difference there. And then the caffeine, which is pretty much the biggest thing in a pre-workout that'll affect you very quickly, regardless if it's the first time you've had a pre-workout or the not first time. It's just like a coffee, just like having some caffeine and a frappuccino, basically just waking you up a little bit like caffeine does. And so what that does when you get to the workouts is it helps you a little bit more focused, a little bit more sort of dialed in, a little bit more, like I said, if you're motivated to go in, then it boosts that motivation a little bit more. So I usually have some pre-workout before, not really before a test, but before, say, a tough workout. That, like I said, I've got the motivation to get on the erg and go do a tough workout. So say, not before the half hour on Monday, but before, say, the 1 minute on, 1 minute off. That wasn't really a test piece, it was more a training piece. So I wanted to make sure that I was hitting the test piece, hitting each 1 minute on well and not sort of losing focus. And so that keeps me alert, keeps me going through the whole thing. And on top of that, the Amsport pre-workout that I take is pretty carb heavy. So using sort of that workout drink like I did in the workout, the 1 minute on, 1 minute off, gives you that opportunity to not only just fuel yourself with, say, caffeine or like perk yourself up a bit, but also it's got those extra carbs in it, so it almost or helps fuel in those longer workouts. So say, for example, I had a half an hour training session, or maybe probably a bit longer, an hour training session, and it was the building intensity workout that I've done quite a few times on the channel, stepping through rates, stepping through intensities. Towards the end of that workout, your body's kind of saying, okay, it's time for some carbs, it's time for some more energy. And so things like the caffeine, which has been proven to help with endurance sports, as well as beta-alanine, as well as those carbs fueling or helping fuel the body a little bit more. But as I've said already in this video multiple times, just because this has carbs in it and caffeine and creatine and beta-alanine are researched to help performance doesn't mean that you should take those supplements. Just look at what might work for you, what you need to do, because really it's a case of, okay, nutrition and fixing your diet, or if there's a problem with your diet, can really have a big influence. Sleeping properly can have a huge influence, and then things like pre-workout are an addition to that. So make sure all of those things, I would say, are all tip-top before you start looking at things like a pre-workout or like a protein shake or anything like that. And also, speaking of other sort of supplements like protein shakes or pretty much that's, or amino acids, let me know in the comments below if you'd like a video talking about those. I spoke about sort of the gainer stuff and the protein shake that I've taken before, but maybe a video talking about that may be of interest to the Yam Squad. Again, let me know in the comments below, and I'll be interested to see if you're interested, because when I mentioned pre-workout in the video on Friday, people were like, yes, we need to know about pre-workout. And I'm not going to give any sort of specific, I'll just say, like I said, I take the Amsport pre-workout, but I'm not going to say any other brands because I've not really played with them much. I knew that the Amsport one would be okay for me because of the lower amount of caffeine. I'm quite caffeine sensitive, and I know other pre-workouts out there. It's not quite like the start of the video, but you can take some of those pre-workouts and you see people bouncing off the walls, whether they're putting that on or whether there's just so much nonsense and so much just rubbish in those that really, like sugar spikes and all of that sort of amps you up, has an effect on them. That's for those workouts. If that's what you're looking for, that's what some of those pre-workouts do. But I'm just, with the Amsport one, it's quite a a tame one, I would say, of seeing other ingredients in other pre-workouts. But now on to sort of why you wouldn't take pre-workout. Like I said at the start, it sort of boosts that motivation. Maybe you're already super motivated and you just want to that steady cruise. You don't want that sort of, right, I'm ready to go, I'm ready to push. So I wouldn't take it on a steady workout. I didn't take it before the steady stroll in the park with Bay tonight for the 90 minutes. I don't need that extra motivation sort of boost. So I would say, okay, I'll just sit on there, nice and steady. With the pre-workout, like I said, it kind of dials me in and it's like, okay, I'm ready to go again. And so I don't need that for the 90 minutes. And also, like I said, chatting with your doctor, chatting with your nutritionist, your coach. Sometimes pre-workouts can affect your heart rate and affect sort of your, like it says, boost the sort of motivation. So make sure you are healthy enough to take pre-workout if you were wanting to at all. And again, lastly, for the last time, it's something that you want to look at after you've looked at, say, your nutrition and say your training schedule and your sleep patterns and all of that. But that will be it for today's episode, Yam Squad. Hopefully that enlightens some of you towards sort of pre-workouts. Let me know in the comments below if you have any other suggestions or questions on pre-workouts or other supplements. Again, I'm not an expert in the field, just going off of my experiences, and I've always said you can take my experiences, combine them with yours, combine them with other people that you've seen on YouTube or experts in the field, and then see what's best for you. And as always, remember to subscribe if you haven't already, hit that like button, and I will see you tomorrow for Hump Day Wednesday. Oh yeah!